Well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to you lovely folks joining me nice and early here over at HowlingMines. Nothing like watching the stream the last 20 minutes of work. Well, I'm happy to help, Riley. Hopefully I get you through your work day one way or the other a little bit easier than you would do otherwise. Welcome on in, and folks, how are we today? Hopefully you're having a lovely day and everything is okay in the world of Magic the Gathering, much like it is in the world of HowlingMines. We're back for some more shenanigans today. We have some interesting shenanigans to look forward to too. So, I spent most of this afternoon working away from home, as I'm inclined to do, but during my scrolling of social media, I came across a very cool deck list from Zachary Kiihne, who is a known FCG grinder, I believe. I don't know too much about them, but I believe they are a known personality, one way or the other, who have built this very sweet-looking blue-red based but Jeskai Transmogrify list in Historic, and after a quick game or two, I was very impressed and looking forward to giving this one a spin with all of you this evening. As always, exclamation point deck, we'll bring the deck up for you in chat. You'll be more than welcome to take a look if you'd like. Alternatively, hopefully Cardboard Live will have the deck above my head once the games begin as well. But if you'd like to join me, went 3-0 with Team of Flash today. Nicely done, Riley, well done. Hey, Minasar, how are you tonight, my friend? Hope it all is very well. So if you'd like to join me, we're going to hop on over into the client. I'm going to walk you through this deck and why I am so impressed by this build. I think it's very carefully curated and very well built by Zachary. So looking forward to talking through why. You're very welcome, Island. I look forward to playing it. I played a few games with this before the start of the stream today, and I have to say, I am very impressed so far. I'm hoping that continues, for lack of a better phrase. In case you're not familiar with our big friendly dragon here from Strixhaven, we have Velomachus Lorehold. Sounds good, Minasar. Sounds good. Hopefully we can get that arranged. 7 mana, red-white dragon with flying, vigilance, and haste. When it attacks, you can look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may cast an instant or sorcery with mana value less than or equal to its power from among those for free, and then put the rest on the bottom. Now, how can we abuse this in the nastiest possible way? Well, there are, in fact, a few options available to us. First of all, we're going to cheat it into play. Indeed, right, indeed. We've come full circle. We're going to cheat it into play to start with. We do that via Transmogrify, a good friend of ours from many a standard deck gone past. 4 mana to exile a target creature and then turn it into a new one, as long as it's coming from your deck. You'll notice there is only one actual creature card in the deck. It is Velomachus itself, so we have to make all kinds of tokens to make that work. We also have Indomitable Creativity, another card tucked away down here that can destroy artifacts and creatures to turn them into a creature. We're only ever going to be casting this for one, very much like Transmogrify. So these are both 4 mana transmute effects that let us hit Velomachus on turn number 4. Once we've got him into play, what are we doing with him? Well, first of all, we can just take all the turns. We recently gained Time Warp in the Mythic Archive. Lets us just go again and take another turn and attack again and try and take another turn. And you know what? It's really easy to keep setting up more and more Time Walks in this format because we have Brainstorm available to us, which is obviously very good for putting Time Walks back on top of our deck. It's also another thing we can hit off of the Lorehold Dragon to find a Time Warp the hard way if we do happen to brick on the hit. But more interestingly, we also get to toy around with Experimental Overload. Now, this is a card that hasn't seen too much play. It's an uncommon from M21. But it does make a token, which is super important, one way or the other, for transmogrifying into the dragon. But more importantly, after the first Time Warp, this is actually just more copies of Time Warp, which is very easy to miss, because you can just make a dude and pick up the Time Warp from the graveyard, cast it again using your mana instead of the dragon. So it actually just counts as extra turns to hit after we've hit the first Time Warp, the first time round, which I think is very cool. Couple other things about this deck that really impressed me. 4 copies of Miscast in the main deck. Now, I think this is an incredible hedge. People aren't playing around Miscast. You do need to be able to defend your combo one way or the other. But this is great against Thoughtseize. You actually have a piece of counter magic you can play on turn 1 against Thoughtseize to keep your combo pieces safe by main decking 4 copies of Miscast. Additionally, we get to play Prismari Command, which is another one of those flexible cards, does a lot of things. It can help us beat problematic artifacts, but it also just lets us move cards off of our library from Brainstorms, and it makes a treasure token. So it can actually ramp us up, or it can make a treasure to sacrifice to Indomitable Creativity to turn into a dragon. So very, very flexible, lets us do a lot of things. Last card we haven't talked about here, Shark Typhoon, just the best token maker you can have, especially in the control matchups, which I think is fantastic. Mana base, not too suspicious, couple of triomes here, one way or the other. One that lets you cast the dragon, which is going to come up from time to time, but we can cycle these away. Most importantly, though, we get to play 4 copies of Dwarven Mine. If it's from Eldraine, it's got to be broken, folks. We get to just make a token with our lands, and this is what often lets you go off on turn 4. You can just play 3 mountains on the first 3 turns of the game, turn 4 Dwarven Mine, make a 1/1, transmogrify into the dragon, and go. It's pretty exceptional that we have access to this on a land that cannot be interacted with in very many meaningful ways. Sideboard for this deck, also very, very clean. 4 copies of Aethergust, I think is fantastic in the current metagame as things currently stand. 3 Abrades, 4 Angers. I'm not a massive fan of Anger of the Gods right now. We have definitely mentioned this a few times on the stream before, but I do think this deck needs to be able to beat like Thalia and Raydan and, you know, these kind of tax effect white creatures. And the Selesnya Company deck is definitely picking up in popularity too. So having access to Abrades and Anger of the Gods makes some sense, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the spell at the second. 3 copies of Mystical Dispute. I like it. I think it's very, very cool. And the single copy of Test of Talents, obviously very good against rogues, but also just good against Sultai Ultimatum and many other shenanigans. So again, this one from Zachary Kiihne. You should definitely check them out if you haven't done so already. I think the list looks very, very smart. I've been very, very impressed so far. I think it's very well built, and I'm looking forward to jamming some games on the ladder with it. I suggest you try it out too if you have the wild cards. So let's go for a spin. Let's see how this one feels and navigate our way through an ocean of rogues and Thoughtseizes and Arcanists, and just try and kill people with a very large dragon taking all the turns. Huh? We can agree to disagree, right? This is a turn 4 dragon, so I will keep the hand. We can even do it on turn 5 with counterspell backup. I'm not sure about Anger of the Gods versus Rogues, honestly. Opponent probably just takes away the transmog effect here. Maybe I should have led on untapped blue source to be able to play around a Thoughtseize. That might have been a mistake. Gonna hold on to these passages in case I draw Brainstorm. I could have prevented that. May have been a mistake on my part. Obviously, if I know... Oh, never mind. If I know I'm playing against a Thoughtseize deck, then it's much, much easier to play an island on turn 1. Looks like Esper Orion on the other side of the table. They almost certainly have counter magic, right? I'm almost certainly not going for this, but I will try and set myself up to defend it. Big brain if they kill this now. I would have been kind of surprised. Brainstorm a good draw. Yeah, wow. Happy to tap out. Fair enough. Never mind. We're just better lucky than good. I can't do it this turn, unfortunately, because of the island, but we can just do it with miscast backup next turn, which is pretty disgusting. This just needs to get a mountain. Alright, go fetch a mountain. Don't need to brainstorm here. We can hold on to this to try and hit more time warps. Drawing the dragon is a little unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. Make a dude. Boop. Good afternoon, Quick. How are you, my friend? Velomachus. Attack. Let's go. I would like to cast a Time Warp, please. Targeting myself. That's really rude. But fair enough. I guess they have, like, maybe a Wrath of God or something? Changing every doorknob in the house. Wow, why? Teferi, Master of Time. You got it, friend. You played a version of this? Yeah, this was not built by me. I can't take the credit, but it seemed pretty cool so far. Teferi Master of Time's an interesting one. They get to buy themselves a turn against the in-play Lorehold, but if I draw a Time Walk, then it actually doesn't matter. So I think I'm gonna brainstorm looking for an extra turn. You have handle knobs, and the cat can open the doors, and it creeps the hell out of you. That makes sense. I respect that. Creativity, not quite what I was looking for. Prismari Command's interesting. It can kill the Teferi at least. So I'm going to put the dragon back on the bottom here so that I can shuffle it away with Fabled Passage. So we move to combat. Opponent going to phase this out. Yeah, this is definitely very, very all-in, and I actually don't hate that. I think it's pretty solid. Get little booties for the cat, makes sense. Makes sense. Sadly, no Time Walk in our hand here, but that's okay. So let's try and find some fresh gasoline. Let's go 2 damage to any target. Kind of want to make a treasure for this creativity, to be honest. Hey, Robin, how are you, my friend? I think that's slightly better. Hopefully you're well today. Your last cat learned black magic to open normal doorknobs. Wow. Terrifying stuff. Opponent's still unable to answer the dragon here. Just gonna go try and do the thing again. I'd like to kill you, Teferi, and try and hit another Time Warp, please. I do indeed hit another Time Warp. I'd like to take an extra turn. How many vetoes do you have? It's extremely rude. Opponent with multiple main deck Dovin's vetoes. It's making me kind of sad, chat. Main deck Dovin's vetoes, man. Search for a Scanter. Kaya's Wrath. Well, we'll obviously stop this. You got a job offer today with a really good starting salary and found out I will have possibly one more offer to compare it to by the end of the week. Robin, opponent's just done. I told you, this is nuts. Can I get some congratulations for Robin, please? Y'all know the rules, folks. We got some channel point rewards. Just 50 channel points to say congratulations. Can I get some congratulations to Robin, please? We should celebrate job offers, especially with really good starting salaries. Sit up straight. That I can do too. That I can, in fact, do too. Alright. S for control. You make over £7 a week. I also gain about £7 a week. Fair enough, Robin. I'm very proud of you. Well done. Well done. I think this is just going to be a case of, like, trim away on some commands, trim away on the worse transmute effect to make space. I got there first, Jen, and I got there first. Indeed, Adam. Four miscast main deck in this list. Defends you against Thoughtseize exceptionally well. Hey, Riley, thank you for the bits for congratulating Robin. I really appreciate that. It's very sweet of you. Turn 4 dragon with 2 creatures and a brainstorm backup. Seems good. More brainstorms. You're very, very welcome, Robin. Hopefully the other offer is even better. We do get Thoughtseize. The opponent will take the transmute effect, I have no doubt. Yep. Oh, you'll never have enough money to support your magic habit, I assure you. I've been there. It never gets easier. Trust me, Brainstorm is phenomenal, Adam. It's possible I played badly there again, and I meant to shock myself on turn 1 to Brainstorm to hide this on top of my library. I'm very sorry, Patch. That's super unfortunate. Hopefully somebody changes their mind sooner rather than later. Alright. No need to rush here. We can just be patient. They're like buses, huh? You wait forever and then finally someone gets back to you. It's kind of crazy. Always the way. There's a reason it's called Cardboard Crack, indeed. Unless you can make pizza, ain't much help. Yeah, I'm afraid I don't make good pizza. It is indeed. You can just hide the cards you care about on top of your library, Adam, which is very, 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 very fun. Why do I still have Facebook open? Whoops. Yeah, honestly, Dwarven Mine is the nuts in this deck. Alright, we drew a fetch land to do some shuffling, so let's try and do that. Yikes. Okay, well, at least I can get rid of a handful of these lands, I suppose. Save the other passage for another brainstorm. Every day we shuffle. You can make phenomenal pizza? Well, that's better than me. I make very bad pizza, unfortunately. You're hired! Easy! Job done! I am not even remotely close to Brainstorm locked. I have multiple Fabled Passages, Minnesar. What are you on about? Smoked pizza. Everything gets better if you put it in a smoker, chat. Everything. Yeah, sure. Why not? Opponent looking for lands, apparently. New Croaky stream meme. It makes sense, honestly. It doesn't surprise me. Every brainstorm is a brainstorm lock? Makes sense. Huge brain. Huge brain. Alright, let's shuffle away these lands. Certainly the way it can be sometimes, Robin. It's kind of painful. The job market is cutthroat AF. Okay, Brainstorm's going to have to do some work here, because I am rather land flooded. And by rather land flooded, I mean extremely land flooded, please help. Yeah, no one likes to hear no, right? Like, getting told no is never great. Opponent with 2 on top. Draws this game have been somewhat awkward. Opponent's early Thoughtseize was quite good, and I've flooded out quite badly. But we're definitely still in this. So we can crack this again, shuffle away. And cycle this Triome. Just going to keep trying to sculpt ourselves into a position where it's safe to do something relevant. Unfortunately, I am drawing very many lands. Good God, Scott. Come on now. We'll make a 1-1 to get on the aggro. Oh, Minnesar. I don't like saying no to people's suggestions, but you can't always be right. Most disappointing card of the set so far? That's a good question, actually. Nothing's really, like, super disappointed me yet. Wow, there are spells in my deck somewhere. There are spells in the Snarls. I expected them to be kind of bad, though. As though your questions aren't normally good. Oh no, I've been caught. Well, I mean, Rogues arguably is the best deck in Historic right now, Robin, so... it certainly didn't get bad, I promise you. Shark Typhoon, a good find here. I'm going to draw some cards. Can we ban Eldraine pieces so Strixhaven can shine a bit better? Gonna have to wait another 6 months, I'm afraid, buddy. I'll stop making it sound like I shoot down everyone's ideas. I don't think I'm that bad for that. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's make a rather large shark, shall we? Make a 5/5. I honestly think Rogues is very good in Historic. Like, very, very good in Historic. Miscast a reasonable draw here. Definitely kind of need to find a transmog spell, though. I think I'm going to look for one. Perfectly understandable, Robin. Things take priority. Okay, I think what I do in which case is I go land, Shark Typhoon back, put the Typhoon on top. Shock myself, move to combat. And my opponent is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana, so I can theoretically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't have enough blue mana to double defend a Time Warp. I can defend it once, though. I mean, to be fair, they have tons of EOs. Fair enough, Joe. I guess I could be wrong. Like, I've been very impressed by what I've seen so far. But I'm definitely willing to accept I could be incorrect. I think I just pass here. I don't think I need to blink. I think it's mainly for like Memory Lapse and Inquisition, right? For Historic Rogues. I mean, Memory Lapse is just insane. In that deck, it's really, really good. Kaya's Wrath with 3 mana available. So I just double miscast this, and I should just be able to kill my opponent, hopefully. Yeah, just very good with Enforcer, too. I've not had a chance to play Team of Phoenix yet, Ryan, unfortunately, because the sad truth is I just don't actually have Phoenixes. And I'm not crafting them because I don't have Mythics. So... Okay, opponent's just dead. Opponent dies to 5/5 Shark plus Time Warp. Just... This deck honestly feels smooth as butter. I am a huge fan of this so far. Just feels great. Hoping it's as good as I believe it is. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, I think that brings us to 11 and 3. Because the loss hasn't gone on untapped yet. It still says 11 and 2 at the moment. But I think it's 11 and 3. Yeah. Sounds good, Bushwick. Yeah, hopefully you get some in back. Sadly, no blue lands here. Sure. You can try it out. To be fair, I'm not a massive roller coaster fan or anything, but I certainly wouldn't say no to a roller coaster right now. Thraben Inspector. Looking for Untapped Mountain more than anything else. Honestly, I agree with you, Tykish. They are. Wow, this is like black-white ephemerate by the looks of it. Yeah, they are pretty good at reimbursing for stuff like that. I'll give credit where credit's due. Okay. So we are on to turn 4 a dragon here, but we need to get to turn 4. $16. And now we no longer are. I imagine they take away creativity. They take away Prismari command. Interesting. Well, please don't have another Spellbinder. Please. So this is the black-white humans deck, I see. Alright, well, I need to not fizzle. This costs 2 mana to use, right? Yeah. So, I can do the thing, but I need to not fizzle. Please, don't miss the Time Warp. Do not miss the Time Warp. Ugh. That's unfortunate. Shouldn't have missed the Time Warp, I agree. Probably shouldn't have missed that. I mean, if I hit it, I win the game. But I did not hit it, so I probably lose the game. Seems like a pretty swingy effect, if you ask me. That's really funny. That is the funniest miscast I have cast all day. Get bent, Giant Killer. Get absolutely bent over sideways. That is honestly hilarious. Wow. No, you're honestly hilarious. Alright, well, removal seems good against humans. Let's just load up on that. Chip away on miscast, honestly, because it's not actually good in this matchup. It's just kind of hilarious when that happens. I don't think I'm meant to hold on to miscast for just a Giant Killer, to be honest. If we see like more dire tactics and stuff, maybe I'll bring a few of them back. I think that's a reasonable plan, honestly, Patch. I might do the same. I got a long list of things to do when the world is open again. A long list. Definitely looking forward to some normality. Don't worry, the stream won't be going anywhere. I'm in this for the long haul. But also I'd like to see my family, so there is that too. Hey Nost, thank you very much for the follow, my friend. I really appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. Don't think I can keep this on 6 either, unfortunately. No way to change the top of my deck. How far is my family from me? About 200 miles. This is a reasonable 5. We can brainstorm and reset. We can actually move our way towards Dwarven Mine. Just need to find a transmog effect. I think I hold on to this for Thoughtseize, actually. It is, unfortunately, right. The truth is, most of my family is still in the south of England. I moved to the north for education, and when I came here for education, I built a life for myself. Brainstorm is so good. And after I built a life for myself, I didn't want to leave, so I stayed. And normally that's not a problem. I can just catch a train, you know, go and say hello, catch up after a long time away. But I've not seen my family in they can actually take the Typhoon here. It's not a problem. Probably about 1.5 years now. The education was better up north for what I wanted to do. For film and television, it was basically a no-brainer. So I get to do the thing next turn. It's okay, man. Like, I'm doing the correct thing to keep myself and my family healthy. I'm not sad about that. It just means that when I finally get to see them again, it will be a hell of a day. And trust me, I'm looking forward to it. Bye, opponent. Brainstorm, folks. Brainstorm your good cards to the top of your library. You can't freebooter me and spellbinder me if I put all the good cards on the top of the library. I have Cardboard Live available. It is above my head there, but you can just type !deck into the chat and give it a spin for yourself. Again, all credit for this one going to Zachary Kiihne, as I simply stole the deck that I found. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good. This hand, unfortunately, not the best. No token maker, no way to reshuffle from Brainstorm. I think we can do better. Okay, this is actually perfectly fine. Pretty sure I put the overload back here. I'm And we can brainstorm on 2 and shuffle some stuff away. What your game is, what your game is. Alternatively, we can set ourselves up for a turn 4. Drogon. Yeah, it's a list that Nassif posted earlier on, actually, I think, right? It's like a black-white Urian list. It's actually on my list of things to try out. I just haven't got around to it yet. I got a bit obsessed with this deck. It was much better than I thought it was going to be. Looks like we're against blue-white again. Yeah, it's black-white Urian with some ephemerates and stuff. Yeah, deck looks cool. Deck does look cool. I just haven't got around to trying it out yet. Oh my god. Might have to grab a tissue or something in a sec. Maybe I have something knocking around. I don't know. That might do, actually. Don't know why I always seem to just get a cold whenever I go live. It's the worst. So, drawing the second one of these, I think I just forced the counterspell. They don't have too many instant speed pieces of interaction. Sense kind of sucks, but... Ravenous Chupacabra, yes. Historic All-Star Ravenous Chupacabra. Miscast is a huge draw step. What an absolutely phenomenal draw. Beat most things that aren't Durbin's Veto him. Sorry, buddy. Miscast is absurd in this deck. What a good deck building choice. Take an extra turn. Lol. It's just dumb. It's just so dumb. Am I actually sorry? Kinda. Like a little bit. Sorry, Blue White player. That was... I would argue that was mildly unfortunate. What's the record with this now? I actually want to check. We've taken a few losses since we were, like, untouchable. 13-3, according to Untapped, currently. Honestly, Zach's deck building is phenomenal. Just blows my mind that he's figured out some of the card choices in this deck. I love it. This hand's actually kind of awkward. I think it's just about good enough. Having access to a piece of interaction and half the combo is like a good way to go, especially when you can try and dig with Brainstorm. But there's no need to rush here. We can just be patient. Opponents are not going to have discard spells like the black decks. So we're going to try and work ourselves into a more forgiving position before we have to worry about firing off Brainstorms. Opponent does Brainstorm first. I think this was such a good inclusion into this format. Don't get me wrong, Brainstorm is clearly very powerful and like is going to be in a lot of decks in the format. But it feels like a way more skill-intensive card in this format than it does elsewhere, which is a real testament, honestly. I could actually have used my opponent's Field of Ruin to shuffle for me. Probably should have done that. Probably should have done that. That was a bit silly. Yeah, definitely should have let my opponents field a ruin shuffle for me. Opponent on mono blue with the white castle currently. Narsetti Spaghetti. Guess I should use this in which case. Before I can't. Sadly, Test of Talents not active here. Not found a token maker, which is mildly unfortunate. Probably going to use Narset to shuffle with their brainstorm. Yeah, I missed the Field of Ruin trick just about. I was not quite focused enough. I only caught on to it when they activated it. Alright, got to find ourselves a token generator. Oh, Veto. Veto going to be a hard one to get through. In this spot, anyway. Mainly because we don't have redundant token makers. We have a lot of redundant transformers, but no redundant token makers. Bit awkward. Salinity Visions is a cool choice. I think this is fine. Opponent finds another brainstorm. Sure. Gotta keep trying to maneuver here. Opponent's a bit taxed on white mana, so not impossible we can get them to tap low and then defend. They can't just castle us to death yet, which is lovely. The temptation to just Test of Talents the brainstorm when it first went off. It's like snap off these brainstorms. I won't do it, but it was tempting. Honest question, judges, because I actually don't know how this works. Do I have to successfully counter this spell for the second part of this text? Or do I get to do it anyway? Opponent finds saw it coming. Brainstorm, unfortunately, much worse when there's an Narset in play. Opponent has to make the mistake here, unfortunately. Yeah, sure. Test of Talents. Do I have to successfully counter the instant or sorcery in order to remove the other copies from my opponent's deck? I believe I do, but I just wanted to check because there is a full stop after the counter target instant or sorcery spell line. Yeah, we're just going to get castle to death now. So, yeah, let's say, for example, I targeted Dovin's Veto with this. Would I fail to counter the Veto but still remove the other copies of Dovin's Veto from my opponent's deck? That's interesting. Not seeing anything on Gatherer, fair enough. Would be good to know. Opponent has to make the mistake here. If they don't tap low, we're not getting through. Can always test it. That's true. If the game is a lost cause, I will test it to find out. Because I'd like to know. We're going to die to this castle, though. And we can't try and brainstorm our way into relevant tools because Narset is our friend. That's not terrible, actually. Do we want to test it, chat? Do we just want to find out if I get to do it or not? I don't know if this game is actually still winnable. I don't know if this game is actually still winnable. for science. Alright, actually this game might still be winnable, but let's do this for science. Let's do this for science. I want to see if it works. It does! That is good to know. That is actually very good to know. Containment Priest. Well, shit. How do I beat a Containment Priest? That's rude. Who's playing Containment Priest? I don't think I'm winning this game. I'm going to move to game 3. I don't think I can beat this card with our current configuration, especially with the way that our hand is. I guess I need more Prismari commands in my deck to be able to kill them. If I have more commands, I can just nick it for 2. Get it off the table. That's good to know about the Test of Talents, though. You can actually use it as like a Dovin's Veto removal card. Hey, hey, Reach the Sky, how are you tonight? Or today. I'm actually not sure on how time zones work. Hopefully everything is okay with you, my friend. This hand is good, I will keep. Yeah, Containment Priest caught me a little off guard, I'll be honest. I did not expect Containment Priest. That is valuable information to have. Alrighty. Opponent does foretell. Everything's fine with you. How close to Mythic am I? Yeah, we're like 2 games away, but we've been bopping up and down Diamond 1 for like an hour now. Admittedly, we are like 13-3 with this deck. But our losses have been poorly timed. But hoping to make it tonight. That'd be nice. How do we go back? As always, of course. That's not what I said, Rye. However, everyone has a price. Chat, do you want to see a really cool play? Let's see if my opponent lets me do this. I would like to make a treasure. I would like to try and blow up the Mind Stone. You hate cool plays? Oh no! Oh, come on. Come on, land. Big brain. Gargantuan brain. Crunch. Let's take another turn. What if we then took another turn? Hey! Hey! Prismari command. Goodbye. Where do we enter? Let's take a look at where we entered real quick. Oh my god, that's some work to do. 95%. Oh. Zachary Kiihne, deck building genius, deck building extraordinaire. Well, I appreciate that, Cha-Cha. Thank you very much. But, so we ended up 15-3. 15-3 with this deck to get to Mythic. We lost to Mono Black, Phoenix, and Jund. Those were the 3 losses. Wow. I did indeed just hit it just now, Titan Smash. That's something. That's something. This deck is great. If you're into this kind of thing, you enjoy this kind of shenanigans, highly recommend trying this out. It is, for lack of a better term, a powerhouse, and I think a lot of people just aren't ready for it right now. Seems very smooth. Very, very cool.